Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and now you're all having a great day. To start things off, Shanghai-based Ontology, a project closely tied to the smart economy blockchain NEO, is expected to launch its live blockchain on June 30th. That is today. A step that will find one of the top 20 crypto assets finally releasing its proprietary technology. Described as an enterprise-focused platform, Ontology is seeking to provide a high volume of fast and cheap transactions, all while helping businesses grapple with the thorny problems of interoperability and digital identity. As such, NEO is one of the several public blockchains catering to enterprise that have recently or will soon go live, Tron and VeChain being the other notable contenders. However, what might distinguish Ontology's claims is the experience of the team. The protocol emerged from NEO, an Ethereum challenger whose founder Da Hongfei is Ontology's CEO. Both NEO and Ontology are subsidiaries of Onchain, which developed a private enterprise blockchain profile called DNA. Da is also Onchain CEO, so they're all connected. Meanwhile, Ontology's founder, Li Jun, told CoinDesk that his company and NEO are co-founding work on API standardization, shared smart contract standards, and cross-chain technology innovation. Ontology's corporate and technology genealogy might be difficult to keep track of, but the result is a pragmatic approach that appears to combine ambition with a lack of the ideological fussiness. Lee said recently, he said, when you want blockchain to become a mainstream industry like the internet today, you have to link it to the real business scenario, end quote. So this is yet another coin that has finally launched. There's been a huge waiting period in the cryptocurrency world. We've had a lot of projects that came out last year and even sometimes a year before, maybe a year and a half, that have said that they were going to launch. They're finally launching. This is why I've been quite excited about July finally starting, simply because it is kind of what's the saying, put up or shut up. There are multiple coins that have launched in June or the end of May, and they all claim to in some way be a contender to Ethereum. So now is their time to shine. Next up, Russia is in the news. QBT, a daughter company of Russia's largest electronic payment system, Kiwi, announced it will launch the country's first ever cryptocurrency investment bank. The new company, which will operate under the brand name Hash, will be registered in Russia, reports Russian news outlet Kommersant. That has to be how you say that. The project will be based on the classical investment bank model, but will operate on global cryptocurrency markets. The head of QBT, Yakov Barinsky, explained, and I do quote, "We will help companies go through the fundraising stage. It will be a classic monetization. We will receive our commission after we help the company attract investment," end quote. Barinsky added that QBT, which was launched in March 2017, will act as a technological subcontractor, while Hash will be responsible for developing the project's financial structure, such as determining token parameters, use cases, and applications. In other words, QBT will help companies raise capital through the increasingly popular ICO model, similar to established services like ICO Box and Draglet. I haven't heard out of either one of them. However, it will provide its ICO as a package service in accordance with Russian regulations, which are currently in development. So any news that you may hear about Russia banning cryptos is completely false. I said this months and months before. They were pretty much trying to get everything in order. And the fact that we are going to have a crypto investment bank in Russia all kind of solidifies the entire thing. You would not be able to even come out in the news to say that you were going to be doing this unless it would or was already not confirmed, given the go-ahead by the government itself. So very interesting to have another news story a bit later on that'll also kind of tie everything together. I think I'm trying not to get my hope up. I said that in the last video. I think we're reaching the end of this uncertainty period in cryptocurrencies because everyone is finally coming forward talking about regulations and giving us proper framework for everything that is happening. Next up, VeChain is in the news. Yet another top 20 cryptocurrency has officially released live software. As of midnight on Saturday, the first block on the VeChain blockchain, whose token supply is valued at $1.46 billion at writing, has been mined, marking a milestone for a project that aims to be among the first to convince enterprise businesses to adopt code tied to a crypto asset traded on a public market. Seeking to address obstacles with public blockchains like Ethereum and Bitcoin, namely alleged governance inefficiencies, economic model issues, and application design difficulties, the project also hopes to eclipse solutions like Hyperledger that have so far been the go-to platform for businesses. In short, founded by former CIO of Louis Vuitton China, that's pretty impressive, Sunny Lu, VeChain hopes to be the first to put real business applications on a public blockchain. They said right now, if we look at all the existing public blockchains, there is a common economic model, which is from Bitcoin, that tries to motivate more people to join the network, Lu explained. The cost to use public blockchains is linked to the token valuation on the blockchain directly. For the execution of more exotic blockchain features like smart contracts and decentralized applications, Lu argues that this is a problem he told CoinDesk, and I do quote, "It kind of generates a typical paradox, which is the more utility, the more use cases, the higher valuation of the token. It also means a higher cost to use the blockchain. That is true. And that means no one will use it anymore if the cost is too high," end quote. This is now, we have VeChain, we have Ontology, we have Tron, we have EOS, and I think there's one more. I can't remember the name of them. At least 4 coins have launched in the last 4 weeks that all claim to have something that Bitcoin and Ethereum do not have. And if you look around, I don't have these in the video because I think it would, it's kind of bog everything down, and I'm sure you don't want to look at the images anyway, the point is, when you look around between VeChain and Ontology, these are major projects that people have been waiting a long time to finally launch, and people are saying that by the end of the summer, I've heard it from both sides, both VeChain and Ontology, that they will have surpassed Ethereum by the end of this summer. This summer, not next summer. At least EOS was a bit more, they said at least, we have by December before EOS passes Ethereum. These are major things that you are trying to accomplish. Let's see if they can actually do it. I believe a lot of this is tested, but these are also blockchains that say that they can do the 50,000, 100,000, potentially 1 million transactions per second. It'll be interesting to see, the market took us by surprise last year, and, we don't know everything. No one in crypto knows anything. If anyone claims that they know anything, walk away from them immediately, because no one knows exactly what's going to happen in this market. I think last year, what was it? I think it was Zcash, Dash, and I think Monero, they were all like $8, $9, $10. No one knows what's going to happen. So it'll be very interesting to see if any of these 4 coins at least manages to pass Ethereum, because that'll be a major feat. But as of now, it's still, at least in my eyes, it's just a lot of talk. So let's see exactly what ends up happening. Next up, Binance is in the news. The world's largest cryptocurrency exchange has just launched a fiat trading pair in Uganda. Binance, the world's largest exchange by volume according to CoinMarketCap, announced on Thursday that it was starting a fiat crypto trading pair with the Uganda shilling. Moreover, the company also announced its first fiat crypto exchange in the nation, called Binance Uganda, according to a statement. The exchange will charge 0 trading fees when it comes online, though Binance declined to state when that would be. However, the first 20,000 users to register with the service will receive 0.5 Binance coins, or BNBs, as appreciation for their support, according to the statement. The token will be distributed on a first-come, first-served basis, but users who wish to withdraw their tokens must complete identification verification procedures after the platform is launched, according to the announcement. The launch marks Binance's latest steps in expanding cryptocurrency trading in the unbanked country. Only 33% of Ugandans actively use their registered financial accounts in 2016, according to a study by Financial Inclusion Insights, a data collection organization which focuses on trends in the digital financial services industry. There is a huge missing piece in the entire cryptocurrency puzzle. A lot of people think and have thought for a very long time that what will propel cryptocurrency forward would be countries in the West. That is to say, the US, Canada, Western Europe, for the most part, maybe Central Europe, what have you. It's now widely believed, and this is why I think Binance is incredibly intelligent for doing this, that what's actually going to bring cryptocurrency to where it needs to be, you know, the entire, when they talk about the world GDP for Bitcoin and stuff like that, it's going to have to do with targeting countries that people who do not have access to banking solutions. If you may or may have not noticed, banks typically only care for very, very rich people. So countries that are maybe underdeveloped or maybe not as rich as other countries, banks literally steer clear from them. So the fact that a major cryptocurrency exchange is going to allow people in a country like Uganda or any of the other heavily underdeveloped countries in Africa to be able to have access to cryptocurrencies when they may not even have access to their own currency or one of their own bank accounts from their own country is ginormous. I know that's not a real word, but it's literally completely epic, and this is part of what I'm hoping that the team behind Omise Go will actually also end up doing, because they also their entire thing is to, they say they want to unbank the banked, but also part of their ideology is that they want to be able to give crypto or have let people who do not have access to normal banks have access to crypto banks, you know, in that, you know, crypto wallets, crypto exchanges, what have you. There's so much money floating around in these countries, and a lot of their normal countries' currencies are completely devalued, like shattered almost. So the fact that they'll be able to legally, I assume this is a completely legal Binance Uganda, I assume it's not illegal, for them to be able to put their money into crypto, and even more so, even be able just to put it into Tether or True USD to get away from their currency is going to be absolutely major. And I'm hoping that more countries actually end up focusing a lot of their efforts on South America, on Africa, and on certain parts of Asia, because there's so much money to be had. And what's widely believed as well is, if you watch documentaries on finance, is that in the new age of technology, we need to actually have these people be a part of the financial world, because they do have so much to offer. And if we can bring people who are underpoverished, into the spotlight and have them become middle class, this will completely change the entire world as we know it. There'll be far less poverty, and this will also help the cryptocurrency space. Did not mean to spend so much time on this one topic, but it is incredibly important, and I do give a thumbs up to Binance. This is why they are my favorite exchange by a long shot. I love that they're doing stuff like this, and I do commend them for all of their efforts. Last up, possibly one of the most interesting and probably the most important news story of the day. The head of the Indian government committee tasked to propose a regulatory framework for the cryptocurrency sector has revealed authorities are close to finalizing a draft in July, that is tomorrow. Nearly 3 months after the Reserve Bank of India, the country's central bank, introduced a banking freeze on the cryptocurrency sector to adversely impact trading volumes, exchanges, and investors have remained hopeful of legislation that regulates, in effect, recognizes, and legalizes the industry. This is exactly what's happening with the SEC. We need some type of regulatory clarity, and the fact that they have said that they're going to do this in July is just wonderful. Earlier this month, we reported that the Indian government committee responsible for overseeing and proposing a regulatory framework wasn't in favor of a blanket ban of the cryptocurrency sector. In a televised interview with India's biggest financial news channel, the head of that government committee and the secretary of the Department of Economic Affairs, Subhash Chandra Garg, confirmed that the authority is in the final stage of finalizing the regulatory draft framework for the cryptocurrency sector. He said, and I do quote, "We are fairly close to developing a template for crypto regulations that we think is in the best interests of the country. We have prepared a draft which we intend to discuss with the committee members in the first week of July," end quote. What worries me here is in the interest of the country. I hope they're not going to ban it, but I have a feeling it's going to be very tight gripped, exactly what they plan on doing. But the fact that they're potentially going to allow it is very, very good. Even if they have a huge amount of oversight over cryptocurrency exchanges, that's totally fine. Just let people have access to cryptocurrencies. The market dipped before when we had news that India was proposing or someone was thinking about a ban. For what it's worth, the price of the market should go up even by 1% if we have news that an entire country that has 1 billion people inside of it have access once again to cryptocurrency legally. I was looking around and I couldn't find it in this article, but it appears, don't quote me on this 100%, but the number that I've seen before was that the actual draft or everything that's supposed to happen will happen on July 3rd. So that is very, very close. It said the first week of July somewhere in this article. Incredibly important. It's literally India, like I said in the one of the earlier things when we were talking about Russia. It is Russia, India, and China. We need proper clarification from these countries. I think Russia is supposedly officially come the end of summer, sometime maybe Q3 or something like that. Hopefully India is July 3rd. And then we need, what's the last country? China. We just need it on paper. It's all but certain that all these countries are going to definitely allow it. But this will literally allow billions of extra people to be able to flow into the cryptocurrency market legally, even if you can only put in, I don't know how much 100 rupees is, 5 euros, somewhere around there. It'll have a huge impact on the market because these people will be able to do it again. I'm not going to spend too much time on this topic, but it's incredibly interesting. July has been, for months now, the prophesized time that the cryptocurrency market should be going back up. If you notice, the crypto market is actually up a tiny bit. I don't have the graphs on here. It's apparently because the last of the Bitcoin futures have ended, if I'm not mistaken. And I guess there was this euphoric bump in the entire market. Let's hope that this continues. Let's hope that we have very good news from India, continued from Russia, eventually from China, hopefully from the SEC as well. There were rumblings that we could get something in July, not holding my breath from them, but let's hope that we get something relatively soon because this will only be good news for the market. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Thank you once again for watching. I do appreciate all your support more than you could begin to imagine. And I will talk to you all soon and completely out of breath. See you.